families. I am Miss Drews if we haven't seen each other face to face. I'm going to go over our slides, and my eyes are going to kind of go this way because, of course, this microphone's not working, but that microphone's working. So I'm going to be kind of looking both places a little bit. So excuse my eyes as I'm going through these things. So this slide deck is going to obviously be shared with you, and you can use it throughout the year, but at any time, at any place, you have any questions, concerns, worries, contact me however you need to. Okay. Email is going to be great, and I'll go over that in a little bit. Phone calls don't always get answered, I'll be honest, through the day because we've got little bodies in here. And then every now and then the phone call, the messages don't get to me, right? So feel free to email me, and we can kind of go from there to see if we need to, or what we need to do next to contact each other. Okay. So I'm going to kind of run through these slides with you, but I'm not going to read all of them to you because I know that you can obviously read on your own, but I want to hit some high points with you. Okay. So these are all of our teachers in second grade. We've got Miss Moore, Miss Smith, Miss Peacher, which is our dual language teacher, Miss Wolfine, myself, and then Miss Espinoza. And that's just kind of important. Sorry, I misclicked. That's kind of important to just know that we have several teachers because especially at dismissal, there's going to be lots of different teachers with them because we switch duties each week as teachers. So just so you know that there's the other second grade teachers that you'll probably get to know this year as well. Here's a quick little schedule for us. And I know that it's been shared with you and it's on our website, but this is just kind of a generic one. The main things that I guess you would probably really be wanting to know is when we start at 7:40. And I know some of us have been coming in a little bit late, still kind of getting in the routine even. So just kind of knowing, excuse me, that we do start school at 7:40, and because that starts our learning right away. So if they're kind of coming in those few minutes late even, they aren't able to kind of get settled and get ready with us. So doors open at 7:20, but they definitely need to be in the room at 7:40 ready to learn. Okay, so that's going to be really important here. Of course, there's more detailed here. Of course, lunch is another one that's super important to us all. Excuse me, 11:30, and then specials, which is at 12:15, and you'll see a little later, that's when a good time when we could talk if I needed to with you when they're not in the room. And then, of course, cleanup and dismissal. We dismiss at 2:55, but at 2:50, we're kind of walking out the room, getting ready to be with you and out there for the day. All right. And then this slide is just reminding you the importance of reading with them at home. I actually picked this quote myself for all of this slide for everybody. It's one of my favorite from Mim Fox, and a kid's author. When I say to a parent, read to a child, I don't want it to sound like medicine. I want it to sound like chocolate. So like I totally agree with her. I want it to sound like something that they're so excited to do reading, and not just like, oh, it's something that I have to do. And ew, gross, kind of like medicine, right? So the reading log that comes home in their red folder, that's just a good way to develop that love of reading. I don't care what kind of book they read. I don't care if it's a graphic novel, if it's online, if it's a book that's too easy, too hard for them, if it's a book that you read together, as long as you are reading. So ways to read with your child that's on here, that I read to you, you read to me. So like I'm reading a little bit of my words maybe as the kiddo, and you're reading the words that I have trouble with. A familiar book. So even if it's a book they're reading over and over again, if it's something they love, let them do it, right? Like I said, you can read aloud to them, and that counts too, because that's just promoting the joy of reading, and also being able to have that conversation, and they're just listening for that comprehension too. And then just building that community of when you're at the grocery store, pointing out things that you have to read as an adult, or in the restaurant and the menus, pointing that out. That's always reading. So just kind of be on the lookout for those things to build that love of reading. Okay. And as you see in my shirt, even today, I'm a big reading nerd. So I love it so much. I want my kids, or our kids, to love it as well. All right. And then I do have slides in here in Spanish if you need to kind of slow down, and if your family needs a little bit of Spanish, they're on here too for us. Report cards. I'm not going to read through this whole thing, but basically on your report cards, you've got 3 things that might get marked throughout the year: a meets standard, approaching standard, and limited progress towards standard, LP. And they have like letters that go with them. The limited progress would be something that if I'm putting that on there, that we as, working people together, right? Family and me. That's the skill that we're really going to make sure that I'm hitting hard in my class and in my small groups, and that you're kind of being on the lookout for at home too, because that's something that they're needing a lot of support to do. Approaching standard, that's kind of where they should be as a second grader for most of the year. So you're going to see approaching standard as that's a good thing. That's where they should be. They're kind of getting ready for that end of the year thing, and they don't really need a whole lot of guidance. So approaching standard is a common and good thing throughout the whole year. Met standard would be that they have the exit level mastery. That means they are ready for that skill as a third grader. And for the most part, you're not going to see a met standard until like the third or fourth 9 weeks, just because not only they might not be there, but also we haven't assessed maybe that way just yet. So just kind of knowing that LP, that limited process, would be something to keep high on for all of us. Approaching standard AS would be they're good, all right. And then MS would be that MET standard. That means they are already ready for that skill in third grade. Okay, and then another Spanish, okay, meaning the same thing. And getting information. So I've been doing daily emails. So if you have not gotten the daily emails, let me know, because that means whatever is through TAC that I'm using for you, the way that you get emails from the school might need an adjustment on which email it's getting sent to. I do not do blogs, but I do have a website that's attached on my email too. So at the end of my emails, there has like the name, right, the signature, and there's like a couple different links. It should be attached there. If not, it's on the GATA site. The Gator Gazette comes from the entire school, and a lot of times from our principals. So that's another one that's sent through that email that's set up through the school. So again, if you need to change and you're like, I'm not getting that, because I'm going to send this video to all of the emails that I have. So if you have not been getting the Gator Gazette or my daily emails, then just let me know so that I can help you switch that so that you can get that information. And really the emails for me daily, I mean, I know craziness, daily emails, you might not get to all of them, that's okay. But they're good ways for me to tell you if something's coming up, like we have something that's different and changing, they need to bring something. And then also I usually try to get 1 or 2 questions so that when they come home, they're not like, well, hey, how'd your day go? What'd you do today? Most second graders and elementary kids are going to go like, it's fine. I don't know. I didn't do anything. But if you have those questions from me, you can ask them, and it kind of supports their learning a little bit as well. And I already talked about classroom websites. The take-home folders, the red take-home folders, there's going to be sometimes notes in there as well, not as often because everything in our world is so digital now, but every now and then there'll be something on their take-home folders. Fridays for sure for me has all of their work stapled from the week. They're not all graded or checked, like written on. I've looked through them. I know how they're doing, and I put my notes kind of on something else, not necessarily directly on their paper, but those papers are coming to you so you can kind of get an idea how they're doing. And then, like I said earlier on the schedule, this is the conference time because it's in their specials. And I kind of give myself, if you notice it doesn't match, I give myself that 5 minutes before and 5 minutes after so that I can, take care of my business a little bit. But this is a good time that if we need to meet like on a phone call, on a video conference, or even in person, this would be a good time each day. Usually every now and then I have another meeting too. So that would be something that we would need to set up, of course. Okay. And then some other things, these are items that if you will make sure, like their sweaters, their jackets, because it's starting to get a little, chilly here and there, their water bottles, those things that are from personal at home, if you will please put their names on it, because we know kiddos leave them in places and we want to get them back to you, of course. So if you'll just write their names like in the tags of their jackets, if you haven't already, on their water bottles, however it works best. If you don't want it on the water bottle, you can put a piece of tape on it and then write on the tape. So just make sure that those things that are coming from home have their names on them. The water bottles, I do, and I haven't sent it out. I'll try to actually send it when I'm sending this. We do need some, we have extra snacks. So if you ever want to like donate stuff, extra snack is a great thing for donation. I'll get to snack in a moment, but water bottles is something that if they don't have their water bottle here, they can't really get water, because we have, with, all the safety precautions still this year, our water fountains only have the water dispenser. And so it can't really like use the water fountains like normal. So they really need water bottles. here daily, and we do a pretty good job of it. Every now and then they forget them. So if you are wanting to kind of donate and help out, water bottles, just like the HEB, I don't have one. Maybe I usually do. Like the HEB water bottles, even like the smaller ones, are great for us to just have in the room in case someone doesn't have one and they can refill that for the day. Cups don't really work that well. Honestly, someone was like, oh, just bring cups. Then you got spill all over the place. So if you could and want to donate water bottles, plastic water bottles would be great for extra needed ones. I'm going to go right over to the healthy snacks, because healthy snacks, it does need to be something healthy, not messy, and something that doesn't, and it's kind of quick. We have a snack opportunity in the morning and afternoon in my class. Just because we're all different and we need snacks at different times. They can actually eat both times if they want to. But I ask them to not have anything that has sticky, gooey things on my finger, or even cheesy stuff like Doritos and Cheetos and all of that, just because we can't really stop at those time of the day to just snack. I wish we had that amount of time. But that way it's not getting all over our things. That's way it's not getting all over our papers and stuff like that. So just something that's less messy, that doesn't need like a spoon or a knife, something just quick, like goldfish, fruit, animal crackers, those kind of things. Like the Go-Gurt, please keep it in their lunch or at home, because that has gone all over the place too. So if you'll just make sure it's something quick and healthy and not messy, that would be great. And same thing if you're donating snacks, think of the same kind of similar things. But if you could, I know this is kind of maybe a nitpicky, I guess, I don't know what the word would be for it, but if it is something that's actually already wrapped, like in little individual ones, that would be great, just because it's so quick through our day, and being able to have to like scoop and get it ready does take a little bit of our time away. So if it's something that's kind of prepackaged, that would be great, not only for time wise, but also with those safety protocols, a little bit less germ shared. Nurses visits, if something happens and you're going to the nurse and they're going to the nurse, they'll have a paper from her in your red folder. So if they ever say that they went to the nurse, kind of look on that to see what she said. Let's see, I'm going to go right into the common language for our campus. So these are the things that should be not only for my room, but it's something that's across the whole campus. And it's actually something that you can do at home for your rules. And they are safe, respectful, and responsible. So your kids probably have been using that, or hopefully have been using that, but feel free to use these, because we talk about how they're not only here at Gaddis, but they are at home as well. And they should be when you're like growing up too. I talk about how myself, I practice safe, respectful, responsible, and I still try to grow on those things as well. So they're just really good words, quick words to think of, like the basic rules. So like, I'm not going to read through all of these. These are the slides that I said I probably wouldn't read through all of them, but just a real quick, like in a classroom, we talk about being safe, walking our feet, being respectful. I'm listening and paying close attention to the teacher or to my friends, and being responsible. I'm like making sure that I'm doing my own work. And I'm not really necessarily reading these words. I'm just kind of giving you a quick example so that you can see how we use them. With like hallways, again, being safe, not like spinning and turning around and running into things, being respectful, quiet so that nobody else hears me, and then being responsible. Like if I'm needing to go somewhere on my own in the hallway, being responsible and going to that place only, not playing around. Okay, and there's more examples on here, but I'm just giving you a couple on each one. Recess and playground, we talk about being safe, like not climbing up the slide, not jumping off something high, being respectful when someone asks you, hey, can I play? Thinking of a way to let them join in and being respectful to them, being responsible. If I have like equipment or something that I'm supposed to take out for my class, I bring it back in, being responsible and bringing my water bottle back in, which is something we are still working on every day. And then restroom, same thing. We have those follow them into the restroom as well, being safe, making sure like we're washing our hands. We really are with that safety protocol. It should be anytime, I know any year, but definitely this year, being respectful. We talk about don't peek in, and be silly. Those friends are in the stall, be respectful to them, and then be responsible, not leaving a mess for someone else to clean. And then cafeteria as well, being safe and kind of making sure that you're keeping your hands to yourself, respectful and not too loud because it gets way loud in there, and being responsible and just making sure like you're eating your own food and you're having good manners. All of that stuff kind of falls underneath those words as you see. Um, I was going to say, hopefully it doesn't play because you can play this on your own. This is Miss Forrester's kind of slide. Miss Forrester is our mindfulness teacher, is what we call her. And so every 4 weeks, and it says it on here, every 4 weeks we go to her in her mindfulness room and kind of just know how to deal with our feelings. And especially, this is another year where I keep saying, especially not only kids, but I know like me, myself personally, and just probably everybody around can use those kind of lessons. So definitely going to mindfulness. And then we do mindfulness every morning. So back to that schedule from earlier, I'm not going to go back in the slides, but that right after announcements, we do a mindfulness kind of thing and think about how to control our own emotions, how to make sure that we're safe, respectful, and responsible. So all those things that you will see that SEL, that social emotional learning in the morning, you might think like, it's not that super important. You do it every day, but it really is impactful to them as people, excuse me, and also to their learning in class. So those are some really important things. And then I think it is, sorry, it was trying to play. Okay, and sorry. Last but not least is just ways to get involved. So with the safety protocols in place still, there's not a whole lot of usual ways to get involved. So if you have and you really want to get involved in our class a certain way, just contact me and let me know and we can figure out some ways. But here's a quick, easy way right here that you can click on and join PTA, which supports all of our classrooms, not just ours. So I know that was kind of a quick, well, probably not quick and length of the video, but quick through all of that stuff. So if you need anything else or you have any questions about these slides and the information I gave you, just let me know and we can go through it. And then also don't forget that fall conferences with parents are coming up. So like if it's a specific, like how is my kid doing in math or how is my child doing in writing, those things will come up in our parent conference. But this is just kind of an overview of what our class as a whole is. So hopefully that was helpful and thanks for listening all the way through. Hopefully that you did. And this year is off to a great start and I just can't wait to see where we all go. So thanks and see you soon.